Breaking news, Denver Broncos fans. Some of it good, some of it's really bad. Welcome in Broncos Country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. On today's episode, we're going to deep dive into the most recent Denver Broncos news, starting, of course, with the positives and then getting to the negatives a little bit later on. So what do we know about the most recent signing that the Denver Broncos make? Geron Christian is now a Denver Bronco. Welcome to Mile High, my friend. Signed to the 53-man roster as he was signed away from the Dallas Cowboys practice squad, with Palczewski moving to left guard now as the starter. Christian gives the Broncos 4 different offensive tackles. Now, it's important to know that Christian has played both guard and tackle. He is mainly a tackle, but he is a savvy NFL veteran who is going to serve as very nice depth and very nice rotational left tackle and right tackle positioning. So it's good to see that he's actually now in that Mile High colors for you. Nice little throwback photo there. And Geron Christian is, like I said, one of those savvy veterans. And again, with the moves made recently by the Denver Broncos, or should I say lack of moves made by Denver Broncos and going out and getting a wide receiver, I think signing a offensive lineman isn't one of those sexy signings, but it is one that is a very safe signing. And this is exactly why you subscribe to the channel. Every single time breaking news hits, whether it's a signing or some injury update news surrounding some of our favorite players, like we're going to get to in a little bit, all you got to do is hit that big red sub button and join the Denver Broncos Breakdown family. News, updates, rumors, all the time, 365 just for you. So again, Geron Christian. There's not much to say about him, really. I mean, I don't think he's going to see the field as often as you would think, at least right now, and with Ben Powers seemingly coming back in December. But the Broncos' offensive line is currently rated one of the very best in the NFL. Now more than ever, with the gauntlet of games that the Denver Broncos are going to be playing here in just a little bit, you need to lean on your offensive line. And Palcho, I should say, has been excellent in that left guard spot. Calvin Throckmorton serving as that nice rotational left guard. So now he could sit behind Garrett Bowles, Frank Crum, Mike McGlinchey as this sort of rotational tackle. Again, safe signing, not sexy. I'm okay with it. I'm definitely fine with it. But you would make this move in order to bolster up the run game that you're trying to get going, and more specifically, with the news around K.Dobbbins, that now becomes kind of a question mark. But going back to the preseason where he most recently played, he was all right. 61 PFF grade, 64 PFF grade, and then he played against the Falcons in week 3. Look, he's not one of these guys that, like I said, is going to make or break the offensive line. In fact, if Mike McGlinchey and Garrett Bowles stay healthy, I will pretty much assume they're going to play every single snap. But in the event that somebody needs a break or that they need to come in a pinch, Christian provides that savvy veteran-style play, somebody that's played a lot of games before, so he would know exactly what to do when he gets into the game, not a young player that needs testing out. So do me a favor, grade the signing of Geron Christian. A, B, C, D, or F. B minus, B. I think it's all right. I think it's a pretty decent move considering you can never have too much offensive line depth, but I feel a little bit out of sorts right now. I can't be as thorough and as happy about a signing of an offensive lineman due to the most recent news that we found out about K.Dobbbins. Either way, like I said, get down in the comment section and down below. K.Dobbbins might be heading to the IR. He is definitely a candidate right now to go to the IR, which we can reasonably assume now means he will not be available for the Kansas City Chiefs game coming up here in Week 11. We're going to talk a little bit more about K.Dobbbins here in just a little bit. Now, before I do that, got to tell you about our friends over at PrizePicks. With the weather changing every single day, the feeling of right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, Go for the power play. No matter how you play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the ultimate test. Very simply put, how do you play? It takes 30 seconds to make a lineup. You pick the player, you pick the more or the less on their stat projection, and you watch your money multiply. Up to 2,000 times your cash this football season on PrizePicks. So do me a favor, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Okay, this is tough, notably. J.K. Dobbins is having a unreal season. And as the news broke around Geron Christian, I also got the push notification from Underdog NFL, which gives mini NFL updates. I wouldn't say that they give these huge breaking news ones, but they've never been wrong. They are a trusted news outlet on social media. And also, they quote other reporters, beat reporters, around the NFL. J.K. Dobbins, with his foot injury, could now be a candidate for IR. He suffered that foot injury against the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'll be the first one to say it, just like you're feeling it. This would suck. This would be awful. He is having one of the best running back seasons as a Denver Bronco in multiple years. I mean, you would have to go all the way back to find another season that looks quite like J.K. Dobbins does right now. He is quite literally one of the best backs in the league, statistically speaking, and you're paying him just under $2 million a year. That is unbelievable. But as we talked about when the signing happened back in June, this was something we were crossing our fingers would never happen. The major concern, the same story with J.K. Dobbins, is he is a huge talent with major injury concerns. Now, I had said when the signing happened as well, I'm not expecting J.K. Dobbins to play all 17 games. I want to make that very clear. I thought Dobbins was going to end up playing around 13 or 14 games this year, whether that because he has an injury where he's week to week or day to day, or maybe they just need to bench him for a week so that he can get his body right. Not bench him, but sit him, rest him to get his body right. Now it's looking like if it is IR, we got to pray that it's short-term IR. Because if that's the case, he'd be back in time for the playoffs. But now you got to lean on R.J. Harvey, Tyler Bidet, and you got to activate highlight reel Jaleel. Because now the emphasis to have a stronger running game is even more important. Does that mean that the three of those guys can't, equate to what J.K. Dobbins was giving you? Of course not. They absolutely can. But now we have to start thinking differently. This is no longer, hey, we can rely on J.K. Dobbins and use R.J. Harvey now as a complementary back. Now things shift. R.J. Harvey becomes your primary back, and you're going to have to use Tyler Bidet as more of your secondary passing back. I'd be running two back sets, shotgun two back. Have Tyler Bidet to your left and R.J. Harvey to your right. Switch it up. You got to flip up your play calling now. Different schemes, different formations, different looks. Because if J.K. Dobbins is going to miss more than one game, we have to hope that we can makeshift and kind of supplant his productivity with the other three guys. So I'm going to reasonably assume, unless there's a second opinion, and at the time of this recording, there has not been an update, J.K. Dobbins is going to miss the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Luckily, after this game, we go into the bye, and hopefully the injury is not as severe as we originally think. But if you are concerned now about the Broncos season, you got to scale it for me, 1 to 10. I'm going to reserve my answer for right now because I want to see more information come out about this injury. But if it is short-term IR, that's probably the best case scenario. Obviously, the best case scenario is he only misses 1 week. And then you go into the bye, he gets even healthier, and he's back for the Commanders game. Hopefully that's the case. If it isn't, we have an entire new series of videos to make. That's going to do it for us on today's breaking news episode of the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. A reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and as always, mile high salute. Be cool.